With Destiny 2 ending support this summer, and many fans like me having done everything but looking for a game to scratch that looter shooter itch, I have the game for you, Splatoon Raiders. Now I know this game is getting a lot of buzz right now, and deservedly so. It's a fantastic game, and for someone like me who's never played a Splatoon game in his life, this one hooked me after just one play session. So, let's dive into why this game is a great place for Destiny players to come check out. And if you like this video, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Now, let's get on to it. After finishing the Monument of Triumph update, I was having a hard time finding my new Destiny game to play. I knew nothing would ever match the feeling of Destiny, but there had to be something out there. After a few weeks of checking out other MMOs, loot-based games, I stumbled upon a tweet from Destiny YouTuber and Forbes writer Paul Tassi. By the way, Paul, love your articles and your videos. Keep up the great work. But he was talking about how he was hearing about this new Splatoon game, and that was a looter shooter. So this piqued my interest, and then after doing some research and seeing the great reviews, I was like, you know what? I got some money, I'll put some money down and get Raiders. And oh my gosh, was this game fun. After finishing the tutorial and getting my first weapon drop, things started to click, but then I got to choose my tank, which are pretty much like the classes in the game. So you have three options: speed, power, and tactical. The best way I could describe that is speed is pretty much Hunter. It's a very fast, agile. Power, you think of our Titan, big brute force in there with punching, dives, it's got everything. And then tactical, kind of like Warlock, mainly I say because you're summoning like a turret was the main thing, as my Warlock main is the first ability you get. So kind of using gadgets at your disposal. I chose tactical, like I said, because I got a turret to place down. But the cool thing was you can swap between the others between any time. So if like one mission you're like, man, I really would want tactical for that, rather than going, speed, you can switch it just by mission. So later in the game, you actually, as you upgrade your tanks, you can mix and match abilities. So like tactical can get power abilities, and then like speed can get powers. So it's like super fun, and it encourages you to play with all the tanks and upgrade them all. So I could talk about the tanks forever, but let's get on to the mods. So obviously Destiny, we have the mod system. It's been through tons of different changes. But with our armor mods is kind of what this will be similar to. So each tank has 5 gadgets to choose from. You start with a few and you unlock and craft them as you go, which is cool and nice for build crafting. So I was like, okay, that's cool. And I knew nothing about mods. Then I got a mod drop after a mission. They gave me an upgrade for my turret. So it got more range, more damage, and then a duration. And then you have mod slots, kind of like the armor slots you have in your Destiny build. You have the 10 slots here. You can upgrade it though. So you can upgrade from starting at 10 slots to go up into the 30s. So it was really cool. This mod feature made it super customizable. And then eventually you get to craft upgraded mods. I kind of called them like exotic mods because they're like gold. So like one for me was like I get to craft a mod that gave me 2 turns to place down. So, and then what helpful is like you can craft those, and those like really powerful ones. But then there's like some mods that are just random drops from harder content. But it's nice to know that like you can craft some and get some as drops. Super fun system. Everybody's builds have been different that I've played with online so far. And then with the mods, you're probably, what about the weapons? Tons of different weapons. You have just some normal kind of like, call them like an auto rifle. You have kind of like a machine gun, like a Gatling gun. You have bows. You have melee weapons of a Splatana, which is a katana. You have like the paintbrush, the roller. Tons of different options. They all play differently. I think my favorite one was probably the Gatling gun, the sniper, and just the normal like auto rifle you get. The weapons can be customized and upgraded too. Once you get to the end game, you beat the final boss, you get these weapons that are they're like 5 stars. That's how the rarities do, is by stars. But these 5 stars are pretty much like exotics. So you get like the top tier weapon, but say you really like this auto rifle you got, but it's level 40, but the cap is level 50, you can constantly upgrade this auto rifle as many levels as you go up. And then it has 3 perk slots where if you scrap other weapons, you can put whatever perks you wanted that fits your build or swap them out, or if you get one that's really good, you can upgrade that. So I think of it kind of like how you had exotic weapon crafting like with Hawkmoon, but kind of a little more in depth, whereas more than just changing 1 perk on the gun, this would be like changing 3 perks. So being like if Hawkmoon had like Outlaw, Firefly, and Kill Clip all in one. But related to that, you're like, okay, that's what are we doing with the content? So content-wise is obviously finding the main enemy faction of the game, the Salmonids, which there's tons of them, but content-wise, you have more linear levels, open level raids, which is like kind of a big zone where you kind of go around. Almost could think of it like patrol, like mini public events are going off that you start. You have boss fights, and then you have time challenge dens, so that's where you have to defeat a certain number of enemies in a certain amount of time. You do some challenges to get extra skill points to upgrade your character. And then I haven't got to this yet, but I know there's a bottomless, like an endless mode that you can do where the enemies get harder and harder. And the enemy salmonids are really cool. They have a ton of variety. There's so many, I don't even think I can name them all and talk them all, but they all have their own weakness, and that's how you exploit that weakness to get the most success. I think one that I've had the most fun fighting, I think he's called a steelhead, but basically he has a garbage band that'll grow out of his head slowly, like a garbage bag. And if you shoot at the bag as it's growing, it does this massive explosion, takes out that salmonid and a bunch around him. But if you don't shoot it, he shoots the garbage bag down at you, and it'll explode in a big radius. So it's kind of a very risk reward. But then with this, every enemy has that like key thing you have to look out for. But it's a very fast-paced game. So there's going to be like that guy with the garbage bag. There may be a flying enemy. There may be an enemy that comes up from the ground you have to look out for. So you're like constantly multitasking, figuring out what's going on. It's chaos, but it's like fun chaos, especially in the later parts of the game. And with all this going on, the Switch 2 is a beast. It handles everything at the 60 frames per second. I think it's running kind of an upscaled 4K or maybe at 2K. Looks beautiful, but all these effects going on, never have I had a frame drop. I think the only frame drop I had is like when you drop in with other players in a multiplayer session for like a split second, and then it goes to 60. Speaking of that, this game has multiplayer just like Destiny. I believe you can play with you and 2 other friends. You may be able to have a total of 4, but I can't confirm that. But no matter what, you and 2 buddies can play together. So again, Hunter, Titan, and Warlock, or y'all could play the same gadgets, whatever you want to do. And then a cool feature is, if you're ever having a issue with a level, so think of it like if you're having an issue with a strike, or like a hard mode raid, for instance, you could like call in buddies to help every 30 minutes. So if you have a boss fight that's been really hard, or you just want it to go smoother, or if you're farming, you can do that. And you can also make lobbies and people can join. Super fun, you can do that. Gives so much replayability value to this game. And it's also good for if somebody's struggling, there's people always calling for help. You can join that call for help as well and get special rewards every day, which is really awesome and incentivize that. Sometimes if you're like, I don't know what to do, you just can go to the call for help thing and just sit and do raids of people and help them out. But yeah, one kind of my last point is like one of the best things about it is that the levels are quick and fun. So I know sometimes it may be hard to be like, I don't have enough time for like a gaming session. If you think of a Destiny strike, it can range anywhere from 5 minutes to 20 to 30 minutes, depending on the level of difficulty that you're doing. But most of these missions are like 1 minute to 5, maybe a little over 5 minutes. Like the longest mission I think I did was 10, but that was like the final boss. So it's really cool. You can just play this on the go, because you don't require an internet connection to play it unless you're playing with others. So, you could do it. It's the perfect game for doing cardio in the gym on the treadmill. If you're in like a lunch break at work or in the car, on a road trip, but please don't be playing it while you're driving the car. But it's super quick, easy to pick up and play. You can do a level, 5 minutes, get some loot, and it's very addicting because it's super quick, and you'd be like, hey, I've got 30 minutes, I can do a couple runs. Which is another thing, it's just like that constant loop. If you're always upgrading your weapons, you're upgrading your mods, you're getting new mods, you're scrapping weapons to get the perks. So it's so fun. But yeah, Splatoon Raiders has been just a great breath of fresh air, especially after having a hard time finding another game like Destiny. It scratched that looter shooter itch for me in a good way, and knowing this is like a complete package. So like it has all this content ready, season pass, or none of this content's ever going to go away. There's no like mandatory like DLC or expansion as of right now that you have to buy. So it's nice that you just have a complete looter shooter package. It just makes it fun. I would love to see some DLC for this game though, like add some new tanks, some new gadgets, maybe some new systems. But yeah, the characters are great. It's just a beautiful looking game. The final boss is peak. It's made to just be fun and cinematic. So yeah, highly recommend this game. From one Guardian to another, I highly recommend you pick up Splatoon Raiders if you're looking for a new game to try out. If you need a Switch 2, there's so many good first party games coming to Switch 2. in this year that'll be good, especially with Fire Emblem and then a Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time remake. So I'd tell you to give it a shot. Plus, it's only $50, which is even better. So yeah, thanks so much for watching this video, and I hope to see some of you taking on Salmonids with me in Splatoon Raiders.